Hello guys, and welcome back to another weekly What I Watched. Yes, I know, my hair's it's a bad hair day, it's all out of the way. I look like Wurzel Gummidge. So yes, I am going to tell you what I watched this last week. Spoiler alert, oh, I didn't watch that. But everything that I've watched this week is a 4-star or above, apart from one thing, which was a 1-star. So generally it's been a really good week, guys. So let's get cracked on with what I watched last week. Okay, so I kicked off the week with Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. My reasons for not giving it the full 5 out of 5 were quite similar to Mike from Did You See That? We all know that Mike is a massive Michael J. Fox fan. Back to the Future is his favourite movie. So this is a movie about Michael J. Fox, his journey from when he before he was famous, how he became famous, about how life was when he did Back to the Future. What I didn't know is he actually replaced someone else, and they had shot, I think, most of or all the scenes, and they needed to replace all his parts. So Michael J. Fox actually was the second person to play Marty McFly, and you can't imagine anyone else being that. So it details how skint he was when he became famous, obviously the height of his fame, and then it details when he first was aware that he had something wrong, went to the doctor and he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. He narrates the entire thing himself. We do get interviews with him today. He has not lost that wit or that spark that he always had. I've always really liked Michael J. Fox. I just find him a really funny, genuine dude, but this really sort of shows more to him than that. His marriage, how he met his wife, they're really still going strong today. They have 4 kids together. So this is a really intimate look into his life, his career and his diagnosis and how he's coping with that today. Excellent. As Mike said, I could really have watched a series and had it much longer with more detail because it was really riveting. The only thing I will say as a negative point, in a couple of places the editing is a bit choppy. Right at the end, it ends so abruptly, you're sat watching thinking that, well, that can't be it. And it just ended really choppily, but massively recommend it, guys. It is really, really good. That's 4.5 out of 5 for Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. Okay, so this next one isn't a movie, this is a series called 11 Minutes. So this is about the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival shooting in Las Vegas in 2017. This is the one where the shooter was up in that hotel and there was a country and western festival on, and he just opened fire with an arsenal of weapons from, is it Mandalay Bay, I think it's called, that sort of curved, very famous Las Vegas hotel. And this is the story of several people that were there in the audience. A few policemen that were there. One policeman was just there watching the concert, he wasn't working. People that were there with friends that didn't make it. The story of someone that went in to try and help people to get out. It's the whole story of, from start to finish, from the policemen involved, from the people that were in the crowd, of the entire situation. It's sobering stuff, it's upsetting stuff. It's not graphic. We do see a little bit of blood here and there, but it's not, you're not going to see anything graphic that's going to make you want to turn off. It's just the human survivor stories. Really, really interesting. I would thoroughly recommend. If I know it's obviously not everyone's cup of tea, but I do really like documentaries, and this was a very good one. I give that a 4 out of 5. Okay, the next one's also a series that I watched over the course of, I don't know, maybe a week or so. So this is it Danish? I think this is Danish. I do apologise if I'm wrong. So Pernille Kursman Larsen, she's a nurse that starts at a hospital, and this is also based on a true story from the country. I think it's Danish. So she gets assigned with a very experienced, very revered, very respected nurse, and she very quickly becomes aware that there's something a bit untoward about this nurse. Too many people are coding on her shift. It seems this nurse likes to do things to patients to make them code in an effort for her to resuscitate them, for her to look like the hero. And this follows this new girl starting this new job, her suspicions, trying to get evidence, trying to tell other people who want to silence her and tell her that she doesn't know what she's talking about. This nurse is the most respected nurse in the department. It's an emergency department. And as I say, it's a true story and it's really, really good. So yeah, I give that one a 3.5 out of 5. So I think a 3.5 is my lowest of the week. I did really enjoy it though. I would recommend if you like that kind of thing. It's on Netflix at the moment. So what have we got next? Oh, this was so good. Right, this is Sisu. You've probably seen 101 reviews of this. So, vengeance is golden. Deep in the wilderness of Lapland, Atami Korpi is searching for gold, but after he stumbles upon a Nazi patrol, a breathtaking and gold-hungry chase through the destroyed and mined Lapland wilderness begins. Have we got? Right, there is the people that have watched it. Okay, so I think the lowest I can see there's a 3, so that'll give you an idea. Oh, there's a 2.5. Who are you? William and Brad give it a 4. So this follows this guy Sisu, and he's not really a mercenary. He has set out to destroy the people that took his family from him, and he is one badass MF. He really is. And there's just no killing this dude. You must suspend belief when you watch this movie. It is, you know, there are places you'd be like, oh, come on. But the spectacle of it is amazing. He comes across all this gold, a massive amount of gold, and he's carrying it all this way while being pursued by Nazis. He has to, obviously they want to take his gold, they want to kill him, but the feat is not quite as easy as you would think. I can't really say much more without completely spoiling it, but the effects in this are fantastic. There's not much dialogue from the main star, but you don't need it. Loads of action. It is in English, even though we are following now this. What was Rare Exports, the Christmas movie Rare Exports, which I'm a massive fan of, that he made this one, so it's by the same guy. And Lisa's now wondering what Netherlandy country this is from. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Lapland, is that Finland? Oh, Lisa, your geography is something to behold. But this is by the guy that did Rare Exports. It is excellent. It is a real spectacle. You do have to suspend belief to a considerable extent, but those effects, it's brutal, it's gory, and it's delightfully so. You will watch it and you'll be like, whoa, you will exclaim loudly when certain things happen. I do thoroughly recommend that one. Sisu, I gave that a 4.5 out of 5. Okay, so on the 20th, I watched How to Blow Up a Pipeline. Now, I've heard 2 people talk about this. One was Sean from Lost in the Reel, and the other was Jackson from Horsetooth Cinema. Is that it? Oh, he's here. Let me see. It just says Jackson. I think his channel may be called Horsetooth Cinema. So, this is a movie about a group of environmentalists that want to make a point, and as we often get the situation, they want to make it in quite a aggressive manner. There's no situation with them hurting individuals. They want to destroy property, and in this case they want to blow up a pipeline. What happens is we follow all the individuals involved in the situation, kind of a bit of their backstory, what brought them to the place that they are where they want to do this, and we follow the actual act itself and the fallout from that. And this is not a true story. I think is it based on a book? So a crew of young environmental activists execute a daring mission to sabotage an oil pipeline. So we've got a few people there that have watched it. Joshua, 4 out of 5, William, 4.5 out of 5, and Jackson gave it a 5 out of 5. So quite discerning individuals they all are also. So it's not going to be for everyone. You don't have to be someone that agrees with this kind of approach. I know everyone has different viewpoints on environmentalists and how they go about what they want to do, and regardless of your opinion on that, I think you still could enjoy the movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And Air I watched on the same evening. Now everyone will say the same thing about this movie. Most people will say the same thing about this movie. This is not a movie that most people knew they wanted to see, that they had much interest in. This is about how Nike managed to sign Michael Jordan to the brand. At that time, Adidas and Converse were the big sort of footwear specialists in the sporting field. Nike were only really worn by athletes, runners, and they were not in a very good financial position. The basketball market was just going to completely drop any sponsorship for basketball players because it wasn't bringing them enough revenue. And this is a story about Matt Damon's character who works for Ben Affleck, and obviously he doesn't work for, well, this is the actors in it. So discover a game-changing partnership between a then undiscovered Michael Jordan and Nike's fledgling basketball division, which revolutionized the world of sports and culture with the Air Jordan brand. So Matt Damon sees something in Michael Jordan. He's not a big name at the time, but he's like a basketball expert, and he's watching all these old reruns, and he sees something, and it's like a light bulb goes on in his head. At that time, Nike were giving out $500,000 in sponsorship to be split between 3 or 4 players, but Matt Damon wants that entire amount to offer to Michael Jordan. Adidas has got money coming out of his ears that they can offer to him if they want him, but it's all about Matt Damon's struggle to try and sign Michael Jordan to change the whole face of Nike's future when it comes to sports. So it was really, really good. It's a movie that most people, I suppose, let me see if I can show you what other people thought. 25 people watched that I know. So we've got a 4, 4.5. Stop doing that. So there you go, I'll just scroll down for you. Jonathan 3.5. There's Mike 4. Joshua Bethany. So that's a lot of really good scores there. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend. Even if you feel it's not a movie that's for you, you will watch it and you will enjoy it as I did. I have no interest in basketball or most sports, but it was a really well acted, well put, well crafted movie with very good performances from everyone concerned. And obviously it's a true story, so yeah, I did really enjoy Air. And the one letdown of the week, and I knew it was going to be crap. Why did I watch this? Like I say, sometimes I watch certain movies because I don't want to think too much. And occasionally you get a romantic comedy that's a little gem. Occasionally, in this case, no. So the cast in this: Emma Roberts, Luke Bracey, Diane Keaton, Susan Sarandon, Richard Gere, William H. Macy. Obviously, I'm looking at this cast and I'm thinking, maybe it'll be decent. We've got an older cast in there. This is terrible, guys. Maybe you stay married for the kids. Michelle and Alan, who have reached a point in their relationship where they're considering the next step, decide to invite their parents to finally meet and offer some understanding of why marriage works, except the parents already know each other quite well, which leads to some very distinct opinions about the value of marriage. So 2 people I know have rated this. Mike's one of them, 2 out of 5. I mean, I know how nice Mike is. This is shocking. Basically, we're shown right at the beginning that the mum from one of the guy's mothers and the other guy's father is having an affair. And completely coincidentally, there starts something between the other partner and the father. It's just like they're swapping partners almost, but neither marriage is aware this is happening. And these parents meet because their kids are considering stepping to the next step of a relationship. And obviously when they meet, it's like, shit, my fancy woman is in my house. Is my wife going to know something's going on? Meanwhile, the wife's thinking, oh my God, the guy that I've sort of like had this special night with is here. Susan Sarandon's really funny in this. I will give her character is just cringe-worthy. She's just everything you wouldn't want in a mother, but it's flat. The relationships aren't believable. There's these like moments of discovery and, oh, I've neglected you and da da da. It's crap. It's the only way I can put it, guys. The only thing I enjoyed about it was tiny little bits of Susan Sarandon and really inappropriate. Other than that, there wasn't very much that I could say or recommend about this. Even if you like that genre, I didn't think there was anything much to get from that movie. So that is all I have watched on Letterboxd this week. Let me just stop that. So as well as that, I watched a series that I would highly recommend, but then again, a lot of people may not be interested, which frustrates the hell out of me. Being from Northern Ireland, there is a documentary on the BBC iPlayer at the moment called Once Upon a Time in Northern Ireland. It's a 5-part documentary I think it's approximately an hour each, and it details everything that happened in Northern Ireland leading up to the Troubles, why the Troubles started, all the way through and to the peace process when it started. It interviews people that wouldn't normally get a say. It interviews a few British soldiers. It interviews people that joined the IRA. It interviews people that joined the UVF, the UFF. They're like on the other side, Protestant paramilitary forces. But outside of the bubble of Northern Ireland, people don't seem to know a lot about the history. You hear the IRA are the bad guys, they're fighting against the whole, they are the bad guys. Very clearly they're the bad guys, but there's a lot more involved than that. There's a lot more politics involved. They did skip some really, really important parts that I felt, unfortunately, but what they did show, and especially one of the guys that was interviewed who basically joined, I think it was the UVF, Ulster Volunteer Force, which is like the opposite of the IRA. It's a Protestant version of, who also went out and planted bombs and shot innocent people. But it showed how he got his viewpoints, how he was brought up, how ashamed he is now, how he was really candid, and he was the most candid individual in the entire interview process. Some people you could see still maintained certain bigotries, certain like isms about the other side, but this guy well and truly was disgusted with himself and what he'd done, and he was very honest with what had happened and why. And you know, as a viewer, it was really interesting to watch. It's a fantastic documentary. There are a few little bits of it, not very many, but there are a couple of little bits that are very graphic, that, you know, will sort of like, it's like a blink and you'll miss it. But it's certain things that I thought, I was really shocked that they put in there, that they showed. But I would really recommend it if you're into documentaries, and it does give a lot more of an insight into the situation in this country, how it got how it did, and sort of how we came out the other side of it. So yeah, I would thoroughly recommend it if you're interested in that kind of thing. Unfortunately, people outside of the conflict don't seem to be interested, so they don't really know a lot about what went on and why, which is a bit disappointing, I suppose. I think people know more about things that are mainstream media, like Ukraine and Russia, and you know, when the war was going on in the Gulf, people seem to know more about that than something that's almost right in their back garden. So yeah, I recommend it, guys. If any of you watch it, I would love to hear what you think. It's just something, obviously, I grew up here, Northern Ireland, and the Troubles all through that, and a lot of it was very much hit home to me because I experienced an awful lot of what they were talking about. So yeah, that's a bit of, well, that's a bit serious, isn't it, for an afternoon? So thank you so much, guys, for watching. As always, I just would like to plug a stream I will be on Saturday evening. Now, it will be different times for everyone. For me, it is 7 p.m. Saturday evening. I'm on a stream with DeRay from Rainbow Fright, and there are some other awesome individuals on there with me. We're doing a quiz, a horror movie quiz, and basically we all need to come up with 5 clues about 3 deaths in movies, and you have to try and guess the movie in the chat, obviously. And DeRay has put together an awesome mystery, like horror mystery box, that will be the prize to whoever wins. So if you're in the US, it's probably going to be on Saturday afternoon at some stage. In the UK, it's 7 p.m, but the actual prize is only open to US competitors, because obviously with this being a big box, to send that from the US to the UK is extortion, is ridiculous. But it's fun to play along, guys, so, you know, by all means come along and join the fun and talk about horror movies and gruesome deaths. That will be on Saturday evening, and obviously I will share the link and stuff. I have already, but I will reshare it again closer to the time. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm going to go and record my little thing. I had to do favourite sci-fis, which wasn't particularly easy. Sci-fi is not a genre that I'm very fond of. And I did do a couple more. I did do actors and actresses, so I may record those today, I may not. We shall see. Thanks for watching, guys. Over and out from Lisa Loves.